Godzilla design tier list. By popular demand a while back on YouTube, polls, and all that jazz, you guys wanted to see me rank all the Godzilla designs. Before I start and I get the billion comments, this tier list will be linked down below. And this is unscripted for once. It's been a long time. Now, as you can see, we do have quite a few designs. Now, of course, it isn't, every single one, because there are literal hundreds of between comics, movies, cameo appearances, a lot of random stuff. But these are all the big notable ones and then some random little ones to be thrown in. So without further ado, let's see where Godzilla Guy ranks every Godzilla design. Starting with the concept design of 1954 Godzilla. I like his round head and his weird proportions, though his tiny arms are going to keep him from going any higher. Concept 54 gets a solid C tier. Next up, 54. The OG, the original king of the monsters. Granted, there wasn't much to rule over at the time besides, I think, Kong and then Varon the next year. But that's besides the point. Great design, but I do think people do kind of glaze it a little bit because, it's the OG and they want to give it respect. But if you put all the nostalgia aside, it's still a solid B tier. 1955. Now, while a lot of people hate this is where the video is going to start to get controversial. I like it more than the 54. Keep in mind, this is my opinion. Calm down. I just like the slick design and the better overall proportions. It's also, of course, the first time we get to see Godzilla fight another kaiju. So he's also at B tier, but above 54. Next up, my beloved King Goji. I absolutely love King Kong vs. Godzilla's design. Easy King of the Monsters tier. Between the lizard-like face, the yellow eyes, and the derpy dorsal plates, he is hands down one of the best Godzilla designs. He's so good to the point where he's one of the 4 Godzillas that make up my profile picture. We'll point out the rest as we go on. Next up, Masuro Goji. I forgot the name. 64. Great design, but it's not the best. I'd probably put it right behind 54. Next up, I actually don't know this one off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure this is Invasion of Astro Monster. I'll put on screen if I'm wrong or right. The first time we see Godzilla do his well-known dance. And overall, it's just a derpy Godzilla. But I do love some derpiness. So, he will be the top of the B tier rank. 66 Godzilla, or the one from the Crab movie. Overall, okay design. Not my favorite, though. But I do like how the Showa era keeps this sort of style for the rest of the era. And in my opinion, they later perfected. But he will be the top of the C tier currently. Son of Godzilla Goji. Honestly, this one's overhated. I mean, think of it like this, right? Godzilla is a loner, and suddenly has to take care of a loud, annoying, weeping child. Looks tired and kinda mad, but granted, I think we all would be. He's overhated for sure. He's going above Concept 54, but underneath 66. Next up, Destroy All Monsters Godzilla. It's great, but like I said, they later perfect it, so I'm just going to put it above Concept. And I'm also just going to put him and him there as well. Now we're almost there. 72, aka Godzilla vs. Gigan. We're almost to that perfected design I keep talking about. Of course, that being Meguro Goji, aka the Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Megalon. I absolutely love this design. This design, along with the one you're going to see in a little bit, is tied for my favorite design ever. Perfect amount of seriousness and silliness. To the top he goes. 74. 74 is a slightly grumpier version, so he's a solid A tier. Terror of Mechagodzilla. Now he starts to get a little bit too mad. He'll go into a solid, probably underneath Concept. Now onto our first animated one, Hanna-Barbera. He's the color of a green bean, but he is freakishly tall, though his spikes and roar are kind of lackluster. Solid top D tier. Next up, the most serious Godzilla of all time, Chibi Gojira, aka Chibi Godzilla. I'm actually not the biggest fan of this guy. I don't dislike him either. But he is notable because he's where I get my colors from with my profile picture. We'll put him top B tier. The Return of Godzilla, 1984, the very start of the Heisei era. Between the suit and the animatronics for this movie, 84 is well known and widely considered to be one of, if not the best Godzilla designs. And I can agree with that. 84 seems mad all the time. And his teeth are just perfect. Top of the A tier he goes. Bio Goji. Now, as most of you may know, I'm not the biggest fan of Heisei Godzilla's design, minus, of course, Bio Goji. When I think of Heisei Godzilla, this is the one that pops up in my mind. He's buff, he's big, and he's strong. Easily the best Heisei design, even going above 84. God, Atari. Anyway. Godzillasaurus. It just doesn't work. It's silly, but not like Showa silly. It just looks really stupid. Not worst of the worst, but behind Hanna-Barbera. Now, given that I grew up with the Showa era, I can see a distinct difference between all the Showa Godzilla designs, but the Heisei era, not so much. Heisei overall is still really nice. He'll probably be below 54 overall. But 91 through 93 look the exact same. Wait, hold on. There's a 94, right? That's the space. I forgot Space Godzilla. Pretend he's here. Now, Burning Godzilla. I've said this on streams in the past, and I'll say it again. Base Heisei is alright, but it's missing something. But once you add in something cool, it becomes easily the coolest designs. Like Burning, Snow Godzilla, and Gemstone. I know Snow and Gemstone aren't Heisei, but they're, model-wise clearly based off of it. Burning is an easy king of the monsters. Ah, my beloved. The concept for 1998. It's such a bummer we didn't get to see this Godzilla on screen, or the Griffin for that matter, rest in peace. Because this would have been much more widely accepted than, Lizard Boy. Solid A tier. Now onto Lizard Boy. I don't dislike him by any means. I think he's very quirky in his own way. And it was one of the earliest Godzilla films I ever watched. Even though my dad hates it, personally. It is still, unironically, one of my favorites. And it's the third of the fourth that contribute to my profile picture. Of course, that being the chin. Next up, his 2D son, Zilla Jr. It's just a less detailed version of Zilla. He's probably bottom C. Here's where he started to get controversial, the Millennium Era. 2000. 2000's cool. The spikes are a little too large, in my opinion. Overall, he's just a solid B. Mega Gearus Goji. Just a worse version of 2000. I don't like the green. Solid D tier. GMK, now hold on. Before you get your pitchforks. Bottom C, but wait. I think the suit and in 3D form, it doesn't work too well. I don't really like the beer belly he has. But, to start to get him into art, he is easily the best looking Godzilla. Something about GMK and art style just looks so good. Ah, there he is! Kiryu Goji. As I said earlier, there is a guy who's tied to 73, that being Kiryu Goji. I love his wolf-like appearance. His spikes are amazing, and he stays a charcoal color. He's not green and purple! What is Mega Gearus Goji doing? Anyway, Final Wars Godzilla. Now, I know I said I like the slim design of 55, but I'm just not as big of a fan of it on Final Wars. He's still a cool design, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think it's overrated. It's cool. Not that cool. Top C tier. Always Sunny on 2nd Street 2 or Godzilla 07. Only appeared on screen for like 5 seconds, but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have -1, so props him there. Overall, D tier. 2014. I absolutely love this design, since this was the second Godzilla movie I ever watched, and is probably one of the biggest contributing factors onto why I'm into Godzilla nowadays. 2014, though kind of lacking in the dorsal plate department, has a very special place in my heart. Solid A tier. Oh god. Shin Godzilla. I'm not even gonna get into it. I just don't like Shin Godzilla. It's a cool movie. The design, though, horrible. Worst of the worst. I'm sorry. Godzilla Earth. The largest Godzilla ever seen on screen, and also the largest letdown in film history. Cool idea overall, but not the coolest design. Top of the D tier. 2019. I think this is where Legendary peaked, and everything afterwards is downhill. Design could easily be the perfect design if they would have kept the whip tail of 2014, but overall, King of the Monsters tier. And he is the fourth Godzilla that, goes into my profile picture. And man, just look at this top row. It looks so good. If only I could have it in physical form. You know what time it is. Here today we have the Devoom Time Gate, one of the most futuristic things I own. Now, a couple videos back, you may remember what I said about the Devoom 64. Well, it has all those features in the past one, including Wi-Fi setup, tens of thousands of designs to pick from, an overall easy setup process, but times 5, because it has 5 high-quality screens, giving you an almost infinite amount of customization. I personally have it on my Mechagodzilla shelf all the time, just due to the fact that it looks just like Mechagodzilla. And besides the screens itself, it also has lights on the side you can customize, and of course you can display other stuff on it like an actual clock, given the name Time Gate. There's just so much you can do with really any Devoom product. All of their products are unique and interesting, all in their own way. Thank you, Devoom, so much for sponsoring this video, and everybody make sure to check out the first link down below to pick up any Devoom product you'd like. Again, thank you, Devoom, for sponsoring this video, and let's keep moving on. Next up, Godzilla Ultima. Now, while the show was, something, his design is phenomenal. Easy King of the Monsters, I don't even think I have to get into it. Thermo Godzilla. Now, while it is cool, I can't get over the one shot of him looking weird. I can't quite put my finger on it, but he just looks off. Overall, solid C. 2021. just a larger 2019, though I do like the more artistic glow of 2019's. Solid B tier. Now onto Godzilla -1's Gorosaurus. They did it much better. The Heisei era Gorosaurus, like I said, just looked dumb. This guy was scary though. Even though he's only a Godzillasaurus, he's much scarier than a lot of the actual Godzillas. Easy A tier. Now Godzilla -1. A tier. Everything in that movie is A tier. I really hope it wins an Academy Award. Oh god. Evolved Godzilla. Gemstone! My personal favorite Godzilla. Not design-wise, just overall. Though his design is amazing. Being my second favorite behind 73 and Kiryu. Now onto a few comics. Monster Warrior Godzilla, my personal favorite comic Godzilla. For some quick context, this guy's an interdimensional Godzilla with a samurai sword, fights other kaiju that are also samurais. He also has W. Riz, my boy! Solid top of the A tier. King Godzilla. An abomination of Batra, Biolante, Ghidorah, Godzilla. It's something. Solid C tier. And finally, Marvel Godzilla. For those who don't know, they're reprinting all of their issues, so we will get to see them again soon. Cool design, somewhere in B tier. And there's my list. I hope I didn't, make anyone too mad. It was at first in order, but kind of fell apart, so yeah. Thank everybody for watching. And as always, keep collecting, everybody. Godzilla Guy, out. See ya.